So in week 2, your clients have got at least 3 sessions under their belt. So let's say theoretically that's the concept. We're going to do another 3 sessions to represent week 2. So week 2 is going to be a follow-on from what we've covered. And again, they're going to be just variations, slight variations, not radical changes in the movements. Because again, the client is learning new patterns, learning new skill, and that takes time to develop so that it becomes just about second nature down the track. And remember, there's going to be a lot of overload of information. So whichever representational system using the VARC, visual, auditory, reading, kinesthetic, we need to use a whole lot of different cueing. So we're not so much covering that off in this 8-week program, but the coaching is going to be just as important as the programming. And with the coaching, you can learn that with the Coach with Purpose program that I have developed. Coaching and programming go hand in hand. Now, let's get back to session 2. We're going to follow the RAMP protocol again for our movement prep phase. We learnt last week the marches. And again, we're going to start with a slightly different variation where I'm going to reach, showing that cup forward. And again, you're going to just keep refining this for your client. You're building in new neural pathways here. It's a contralateral, brilliant movement. From there, we can do walkout taps. So here I'm going to keep the hinge, get them to gently come into a plank. If this is sufficient, that's fine. Otherwise, you can add a tap and get them to inchworm back into this hinge and drive. Hinge, full plank, tap. Beautiful. So we're going to try roughly 8 of those. With the activations, we're going to be working on glute bridges, no hand, and banded single arm rows. So here, we're going to build on from last week, place the hands up and hips. So now I haven't got that support which the hands provided here. Hands coming up, a little bit more of a balance challenge, and this is going to be great to kind of include some frontal plane activity as well. From there, we're going to go into, where's my trusty band? Okay, so there's the band. So from here, I'm going to adopt a split stance position. I can just use one here, shorten the lever, and from this position, pardon me, I'm going to change legs. From this position, I'm going to start the row. Again, I can shorten, or I can start to use 2. But for now, it's just activation work. We're not using strength. We're going to change sides, shorten the lever, get a grip, and start to row. Again, the next theme is going to be the joint rolling. So you can, again, utilize the whole body, ankles first, rolls, knees. You can start to add some variation to the movement, and with the hip to the side and big circles. One way, big circles the other. And again, arms rolling forward, nice big movements. Now you can add some other variations. So you go 1 forward, 1 back, and again, widen. So you're getting your clients into real focus here with these movements. So that's the M. The potentiate now, I'll show you something a little different. I'm going to come into this band that's anchored to the strength wrap. So the idea is, once you're in, you're going to place the band around the hip area, the crease. From here, come away so that you're getting this distraction force. So now it wants to pull me into this hinge. So you're going to resist that, hinge, and then thrust. I'd recommend the arm movements. And again, you're going to do about 8 of those as part of the potentiate in this week 2. From there, we're going to do a series of 3 biplexes. So we're going to have the first biplex is going to be the kettlebell RDL with speed coupled with the banded Pallof press. So again, from here, it's faster. Because remember, in the kettlebell swing, it's more of an explosive movement. So that's why we're building up to this. Stability, strength, and a little bit of power endurance. This is going to be coupled with the Pallof press. Again, around hip height is okay, or a bit higher. You're going to stay side on to the band. From here, bring it to the sternum and push out. And guide it back. Again, there's going to be this resisting of this rotational force. So it's anti-rotation around the hip area. Of course, I'm rotating in the thoracic. I'm bringing it into sagittal, and I'm pushing out into sagittal, and again, controlling it back. We're going to work the other side as well. So that's your first program. The second one in the biplex is going to be your goblet squat with banded pulls. Okay, so here, it's really important where to hold the kettlebell and the goblet. So I like to hold it just in this position here. Keep it to the chest. Assume your position. And come up. So elbows in. Not out, tuck in, handles just sort of anchored to the chest. And then you can bring it safely down here. It's always, safety has to be paramount whenever you're teaching with the kettlebell, but with anything. Body weight, but especially when you've got loaded implements like a kettlebell. Number 3 is going to be, the banded pulls. Forgot about that. So the banded pulls are here. Going to be standing with the band. I can keep this a little higher. Let's do that. And from here, slight bend of the knees and pull. If you want more, you can step back to get more tensile force here, the band, and pull. So again, we're not looking for gross strength at this point in time. The third one, I was getting carried away before, is going to be the kettlebell 2-hand press with reverse lunges. So again, we're learning to hold the kettlebell crucially in this goblet position before we start using one arm. From here, that's the first movement. And then from here, we're going to go into reverse lunge. Again, goblet position, keep it tight, reverse lunge. So you're going upper and lower body. Ripper of a session, again, you're going to try this yourself. So that's your movement prep, your workout, and what's the third component is the recovery. So recovery, again, you're going to choose either breath work, progressive relaxation techniques. You could focus more on that, but I recommend choosing one of those. Another cool one is going to be the supine leg drain. So from here, you've got a wall. Get as close as you can, arms out. And again, you're going to use some breath work here. And you're letting that blood flow through this venous leg drain, back through the lymph system, doing its wonderful work. You can go wider, for example. And later on, I can show you some other variations. But again, that's going to be about 5 minutes or so. It's awesome in a group too. You can really sync the group together. And again, you can use an app to help guide that 4 or 5 minutes. Folks, it makes a huge difference to add in this recovery element. Some people don't even offer themselves 5 minutes in a day to calm down. There's often stress everywhere. As soon as we wake up, there's perhaps the phone there. There's a call. There's work. There's this, there's that. It's really important that you as a coach lead your clients to really find that time to recalibrate. Because remember, training is a stressor. There's lots going on, but it is a stressor. So I hope you've enjoyed week 2. Your goal is to practice it yourself, then write out 2 variations of this program to which you'll practice yourself. So now you're starting to appreciate that we're building up the level of proficiency using a kettlebell, body weight, but you following a system. I hope you enjoy that. Stay tuned for week 3.